Weakley County, Tennessee, is celebrating its birthday of 200 years. On October the 21st, in the year 2023. In honor of the late Virginia Clark Vaughn, who was the editor-in-chief of the Weakley County, Tennessee History Series, a publication by the Memphis State University, published during 1983, How Weakley Became a County of Tennessee will be told in the voice of Kendra. Honoring Vaughn's valuable contribution to Weakley County history.
The act to create and to establish new counties west of the Tennessee River, passed November 7, 1821, in the 14th General Assembly. It set out the boundaries of Henry, Carroll, Madison, and Henderson counties. Territories for several other counties, to be organized at a later date, were attached to and made an actual part of some of these counties. Two other counties were laid off west of Henry, named Weakley and O'Bion. They were to enjoy the privileges of, and be subject to, all the duties of Henry County, but with exception that no tax shall be collected in said bounds for the purpose of erecting public buildings in Henry County. When the 15th General Assembly met in 1823, at Murfreesboro, which at the time was the capital of Tennessee, it created 8 new counties. Weakley was established by an act on October 21, during 1823, was the 4th to be admitted. In all, throughout history, Weakley County has been under the control of 3 European countries, 2 state governments, North Carolina and Virginia, 1 federal United States territory, and 13 county governments. Immediately after the Western District was cleared of all Indian claims, an enormous flow of settlers, some with military warrants, rushed in to claim land. Some reasons for this heavy immigration were the spirit of speculation, the 1824 financial panic, and the severe drought of 1826 in North Carolina, which forced people to seek their fortunes elsewhere. Many large landholders in the district had to sell the majority of their land to pay taxes, making more land available to new settlers. Most of the immigrants were from North and South Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, and Middle and East Tennessee, the latter originally from the former states. Most migration came into Weakley County from the east, across Henry County, since navigation up the O'Bion River in flatboats was virtually impossible, because most of the river was clogged by fallen trees. Since the population of Weakley County was not large enough to support a county government, Henry County controlled it. But by 1823 there was sufficient population to demand a county seat, the long journeys to the seat of justice at Paris being difficult and at times impossible to make. There were 243 names on the petition to the General Assembly for the creation of the new county of Weakley. The 9 names suggested for justices of the peace were Thomas Adams, Albert B. Fane, James McNeely, John R. Schultz, Stephen Smart, Elijah Stanley, John Terrell, Robert Wells, and Joseph Wilson. John Webb was to be recommissioned. Those settlers in the county before the Jackson Purchase of 1818 had difficulties securing deeds to their land. To legalize their claims they had to secure a North Carolina land warrant. These were available from a North Carolina Revolutionary War soldier or through the Land Grant Act. The land had already been surveyed by North Carolina starting in 1789 and assigned through grants to various individuals, mostly Revolutionary War soldiers. Wealthy North Carolina businessmen bought some grants from the veterans for as little as $25 for 300 acres, thus accumulating vast amounts of land for speculation. John Gray Blunt and Thomas Blunt entered claims for 40,000 acres in the Western District in 1784 through this method. These fascinating entries are found in the Weakley County Grant Book of 1794 to 1844, where about 85 men entered claims to thousands of acres of land. North Carolina held her right to these land grants even after Tennessee became a state. The Weakley County Occupant Entry Book of 1827 to 1833 mentions 4,480 acres belonging to the University of North Carolina. This was sold to settlers for support of the university. Later, East and Middle Tennessee universities received aid from these land sales also. West Tennessee, which needed the money badly, did not receive any of those funds. When settlers rushed into the Western District, much of the best land in Weakley County was owned by those who had military land warrants and by non-residents. The pioneers, however, generally settled on the lands belonging to the federal government, which was made subject to occupant entry by the laws of the state. To protect early occupants who had cleared land, built cabins, and claimed title by squatters' rights, the Tennessee state government passed laws entitling the settler to 160 acres of land. A new law in 1826 increased that amount to 200 acres, and to any amount by 1833.